Let's start setting up.
Okay.
Are you ready for the departure brief?
Go ahead.
Okay, it's going to be a standard pushback and start off the gate. Taxi route will be as assigned by ATC. It will be a left seat takeoff, using D-rated thrust. Anti-ice will be off. Above 80 knots, we will reject for fire, engine failure, loss of control, or wind shear. The crew member noticing the abnormality will clearly state the problem. I will call reject or continue. If the decision is to reject, I will close the thrust levers and disengage auto throttle, observe or apply maximum braking, raise speed brakes, apply maximum amount of reverse thrust consistent with conditions and bring the aircraft to a complete stop on the runway, stow the speed brake, and set the parking brake, advise the cabin, this is the captain speaking, remain seated, remain seated. I will then perform any necessary memory items or checklists as appropriate. If an evacuation is required, I will initiate the evacuation checklist. In the event of an engine failure after V1, we will continue the takeoff, rotate at VR, call positive rate gear up, and cancel the master caution. There will be no other calls below 400 feet. At 400 feet, I'll call for a roll mode, then call confirm the failure. If required, we'll perform any necessary memory items, climb at V2 to V2 plus 20 to 1000 feet AFL or TOCA, whichever is higher. Retract flaps on schedule. When flaps have been retracted at or above, flaps up, maneuver speed, call for level change if VNAV is not engaged. Set max continuous thrust, and call for the appropriate emergency checklist. We are under our maximum landing weight, so we are okay to make an immediate return. The departure routing will be via the ATC assigned SID, complying with all published speeds and altitude restrictions. No noise abatement procedures required. Any questions, comments, or concerns?
No questions.
Departure brief complete.
Hi guys, here's the load sheet for you.
Thank you.
No problem, have a safe flight.
Pre-flight checklist.
Pre-flight checklist. Oxygen.
Tested 100%.
Tested 100%. Navigation transfer and display switches. Normal auto. Windows heat. On. Pressurization mode selector. Auto. Flight instruments.
Heading 163. Altimeter 1017.
Heading 163. Altimeter 1017. Parking brake.
Set.
Engine start levels.
Cut off.
Pre-flight checklist completed.
Hey guys, all packs are on board. Are we clear to close?
Yes.
Thanks, let me know if you need anything.
Before start checklist.
Stand by.
Request pushback and start clearance.
Ground. Ryanair 6858. Requesting pushback and start clearance. Okay, cleared to push and start. Ryanair 6858.
Cockpit to ground.
Before start checklist.
Go ahead.
Before start checklist. Flight deck
Clear
door
for pushback
closed and locked.
start at 1
MCP.
tail to our left.
V2 7, heading 0, 4, 5, altitude, flight level 1, 0, 0,
Takeoff speeds.
V1, 1, 4, 0, VR, 1, 4, 1, V2, 1, 4, 7,
CDU pre-flight.
Ladies and gentlemen,
completed,
Rudder and aileron trim.
electronic equipment and mobile phones
free and 0,
Taxi and takeoff
We are now
briefing.
about to start our pre-flight
completed,
safety
Anti-collision
briefing.
light. On.
We
Before
are now
start
going to
checklist
take you
completed.
through our safety procedures and equipment. As this information is for your benefit, we ask you to watch and listen carefully. The safety card in your seat
Start
area
sequence is
shows
2,
details
then
of
1.
escape
Check.
oxygen masks, and life jackets. It also shows the bracing position which you must adopt in an emergency landing.
Start
The
engine
unlikely
2,
event of having
Start in
to
engine
escape
2.
flight-
flaps 5, flight controls check complete. Before taxi checklist.
Before taxi checklist. Generators. On. Probe heat. On. Anti-ice. Off. Isolation valve. Auto. Engine start switches. Continuous. Recall.
Checked.
Checked. Auto brake. RTO. Engine start levers.
Idle detent.
Flight controls.
Checked.
Ground equipment.
Clear.
Clear. Before taxi checklist completed.
Request taxi clearance.
Ground. Good morning. Ryanair 6858. Ready to taxi. Clear to taxi. Ryanair 6858.
Clear left.
Clear right. Flight deck. Okay, thanks. Captain, the cabin is secure.
Before takeoff checklist.
Before takeoff checklist. Flaps.
Flaps 5, green light.
Stabilizer trim.
4.0 units.
Before takeoff checklist completed.
Request takeoff clearance.
Tower, Ryanair 6858. Ready for departure. Cleared for departure. Ryanair 6858.
Before takeoff procedure.
Okay. Cabin crew, take your seats. Clear on the approach. Ready to go.
On runway 05.
Thrust set. 80 knots.
Checked.
V1. Rotate. Positive rate.
Gear up.
Gear up. .400 feet. Autopilot on.
Flaps 1.
Speed checked. Flaps 1 set.
Transition set standard.
Standard set. Passing flight level 057.
After takeoff checklist.
After takeoff checklist. Engine bleeds. On. Packs. Auto. Landing gear. Up and off. Flaps. Up. No lights. After takeoff checklist complete. Now.
Checked.
Happy to release the cabin crew?
Yes, please.
Okay.
Are you ready for the approach brief?
Okay.
The arrival routing will be via the ATC assigned star, complying with all published speeds and altitude restrictions. For an ILS approach, planning a flaps 30 landing. Final approach fix altitude is 2,500 feet. Decision altitude is 440 feet. Missed approach altitude is 4,000 feet. Taxi route in will be as assigned by ATC. We'll be arriving at a remote stand. Descent speeds and navigation radios are set. Airport NOTAMs have been reviewed. Any questions, comments, or concerns?
No questions.
Approach brief complete. Ladies and gentlemen, from the cockpit, we'll be starting our initial descent shortly. Again, thanks for flying with us today. We appreciate your business. I have control.
You have control.
Descent checklist.
Descent checklist. Pressurization. Landing altitude is 250 feet. Recall checked. Auto brake. Level 3. Landing data.
VREF 147. Minimums 440 feet.
VREF 147. Minimums 440 feet. Approach briefing.
Completed.
Descent checklist completed.
Approach checklist.
Approach checklist. Altimeters.
1015 set.
1015 set. Approach checklist completed. Flight deck. Okay, thanks. Captain, the cabin is secure.
Flaps 1.
Speed checked. Flaps 1 set. 1000 to level.
Flaps 5.
Speed checked. Flaps 5 set.
B.
Autopilot on. Radio altimeter alive.
25.
Cabin crew, take your seats. Final approach fix. Height checked. Missed approach altitude is set.
Manual flight.
Autopilot off.
Gear down. Flaps 15.
Speed checked. Gear down. Flaps 15 set.
Flaps 30.
Speed checked. Flaps 30 set.
Landing checklist.
Landing checklist. Engine start switches.
Continuous.
Speed brake.
Armed.
Landing gear.
Down.
Flaps.
1,000.
Flaps 30. Green light.
Landing checklist completed. 1,000 feet.
Approaching.
Stable.
3, 0.
Five 500 feet. Approaching minimums.
Approaching minimums. Minimums.
Minimums.
Flight slope. $50, $40,
Long landing. Long landing.
10.
Speed brake up. Reversers normal. Auto brake disarmed.
Manual braking.
60 knots.
Checked. Okay to clean up.
Roger.
Ladies and gentlemen, on behalf of the captain and the entire crew, we'd like to welcome you to our destination. For your safety, please remain seated with your seatbelt fastened, leaving all items and hand luggage safely stowed until the seatbelt sign has been installed. Before you leave the aircraft, please ensure you have all your personal items and hand luggage with you. Please be careful when opening overhead lockers as items may fall out causing injury. We'd like to remind you that smoking is not permitted until you reach the designated smoking area. If you require assistance when you leave the aircraft, please contact a member of our ground staff. If you're connected to another flight today and hold a boarding card and transfer wallets advising you of your departure terminal, please follow the signs in the flight connection. This will lead you on to your departure terminal, and please check your gate number in the departure lounge. To avoid missing your onward flight, we strongly recommend that you go straight to your departure terminal.
APU on the
Those who
buses.
have a boarding card, please go directly to the flight connections desk. Once again, ladies and gentlemen, on behalf of the entire airline, thank you very much for choosing to fly with us today, and we hope to see you again in the near future. Thank you.
We are not at 3 minutes yet.
Lights and doors.
Check. Cabin crew disarm doors and cross-check.
Hi, the security and safety checks are all done. Are we good to start boarding?
Yeah, so you could start boarding.
Thanks.
Valencia traffic Adria 8169 refers to boarding point runway 30 Hotel 1 via Whiskey 2, Gate A, November 1.
Area shows details of escape route.
Before takeoff checklist.
Before takeoff checklist. Flaps.
Flaps 5, green light.
Stabilizer trim.
5.0 units.
Before takeoff checklist completed.
Before takeoff procedure.
Okay. Cabin crew, take your seats. Clear on the approach. Ready to go.
Takeoff.
On runway
Thrust set.
30.
80 knots.
Checked.
V1.
V1. Rotate. Positive rate.
Gear up.
Gear up. $400 feet.
Command A.
Autopilot on.
Are you ready for the approach brief?
Okay.
The arrival routing will be via the ATC assigned star, complying with all published speeds and altitude restrictions. For an ILS approach, planning a flaps 30 landing. Final approach fix altitude is 2,000 feet. Decision altitude is 430 feet. Missed approach altitude is 4,000 feet. Taxi route in will be as assigned by ATC. We'll be arriving at a remote stand. Descent speeds and navigation radios are set. Airport NOTAMs have been reviewed. Any questions, comments, or concerns?
No questions.
Approach brief complete. I have control.
You have control.
Descent checklist.
Descent checklist. Pressurization. Landing altitude is 150 feet. Recall checked. Auto brake. RTO. Landing data.
VREF 141, minimums 430 feet.
VREF 141, minimums 430 feet. Approach briefing.
Completed.
Descent checklist completed. Final approach fix. Height checked. Missed approach altitude is set.
Gear down. Flaps 15.
Speed checked. Gear down.
Flaps 30.
Check speed. Flaps 15 set.
Flaps 30.
1000 feet. Not stable. Speed checked.
Approaching. 05.
Flaps 30 set.
Landing checklist.
Landing checklist. Engine start switches.
Continuous.
Speed brake.
Armed.
Landing gear.
Down.
Flaps.
Flaps 30. Green light.
Landing checklist completed.
500.
500 feet.
Cleared.
Approaching minimums.
Approaching minimums.
Continue.
Minimums.
Minimums.
Long landing. Long landing.
10.
Speed brake up. Reversers normal. Auto brake disarmed.
Manual braking.
60 knots.
Checked.